What is up, everybody? I am Xander Jones, and today we are going over my picks for the top 10 best movies of 2017. Before I start this list, you should know that there are 3 movies I did not get around to seeing, but I heard were really good. And those movies are Blade Runner 2049, Lady Bird, and 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Without further ado, let's jump right into this list. Number 10, Baby Driver. Okay, some of you might be a little surprised that this one is on my list due to the lack of realism, but if there's one thing I do like in a movie, it's self-awareness. This movie knows that it's not meant to be taken too seriously, kind of like the Kingsman movies. To me, this was just an entertaining thrill ride. Number 9, The Disaster Artist. Those of you who don't know, this movie is about the making of the movie called The Room, which has been labeled the best, worst movie ever made. James Franco does a wonderful job of starring as the Tommy Wiseau, who is the writer, director, and producer of The Room. Now this may sound a little bit odd, that the worst movie ever is receiving critical praise now, from myself included. But it's actually a brilliant move. It can be very inspiring for filmmakers everywhere because it shows that no matter what, people can fulfill their lifelong dreams. Despite the cringe-worthy moments this movie has, it can still make anyone feel good about themselves. Number 8, The Villainess. This South Korean movie might be confusing to some viewers, and when I say some, I'm talking about the people who do not like to read subtitles, especially if it's an action movie. I fully understood what was going on at the end of the film because I was paying full attention to the small details, and it made the story make sense. It was something new and exciting, and worth a spot on my list. Plus, I have never seen a sword fight on motorcycles before. That was very short-lived, but it was also epic. Number 7, Raw. Another foreign film hailing from France. The last time I tried to watch a movie from France, it was a movie called Inside. For that copy of Inside, there was no English dub and no English subtitles, so I had to guess the dialogue for the entire film. Fortunately, there wasn't a whole lot of talking in that movie, but I already knew all about the plot and the synopsis for it. Anyway, back to the movie Raw. This is definitely a new concept for a film about a vegetarian college student who craves not just meat, but human flesh as well. Some parts might be a little hard to watch without cringing a few times, but I can handle it with ease after being exposed to movies that are far worse, such as the Serbian film, the August Underground trilogy, and the Slaughtered Vomit Dolls trilogy. Now, none of those are of any comparison to this movie, because this movie is very mild compared to all that. But if you like seeing humans participating in over-the-top, strange initiation rituals and completely bizarre activities, then this French thriller might be for you. Number 6, Logan. I love superhero movies, but you almost never see them on my top 10 list unless there is something very special about it. This is one of those times. All thanks to the gem that Deadpool was, we can now see more Stan Lee characters receive R ratings for their film adaptations. This movie had it all. Stellar cast, outstanding story, a very well-written screenplay, breathtaking visuals, great camera work, along with some of the best stuntmen, and newcomer actress Daphne Keane, who will one day reign in Hollywood as one of the best actresses here in the near future. Possibly one of the greatest ends to a series ever, and Hugh Jackman pulls no punches in this epic finale. A must-see. Number 5, A Ghost Story. If it's an A24 film, you can bet your ass you'll find a way on my list. This drama is about the loss of a loved one, and the world through the eyes of a roaming soul. Not many films out there are told from the ghost perspective, and not many films can look this artistic. It was a very beautiful movie, with some very long and sometimes very unnecessary camera takes. But let's face it, This movie would only be about maybe 35 minutes long if they just cut certain things out. For example, the infamous 9-minute long pie eating scene. We, the audience, are forced to watch this woman eat an entire pie by herself in one long, continuous take. Oh well, I can look past that because the cinematography in this is outstanding. The best way that you can watch this movie is either on a PlayStation 3, where you can just tap the R2 button, or the VLC player on your computer, to where you can just push the plus key to help speed up the footage a little bit. Many of my friends are probably thinking, dude, this movie sucks. Why is this on your top 10 list? Probably because I'm not a nerd who jerks off to fucking Spider-Man Homecoming and Justice League. Number 4, Colossal. This is another example of a completely unique plot. I have never seen a movie quite like this one. Could you imagine not knowing you've unintentionally killed a lot of people because your body puppeteers a Godzilla-like creature? This film brings that fresh idea to life. There's not much more I can say about this movie without ruining the experience for you, so please go watch this movie. Number 3, It. It's extremely rare to have a horror movie on my list, but this is probably one of the best book adaptations ever. The storyline was very faithful to what Stephen King originally wrote, minus that sewer orgy from the novel, which every other YouTuber has already talked about this year. But this film was more than just a horror movie filled with cliches. Instead, it had a complex yet easy to follow storyline, with the best possible cast anyone could ever ask for. Number 2, Megan Levy. You know what this movie reminded me of? Max. Max was another marine dog movie that came out in 2015, and I absolutely loved it. Both films were meaningful and touching. It shows you just how important the men and women and service animals are, and how they protect America. Though this was a very emotional movie, it had its mildly comical relief moments to help balance the dramatic tones of this film. Before I reveal my number 1 pick for the best movie of 2017, here are a few very honorable mentions.
I need you back here right now. I need you.
Okay, baby, just calm down, sweetheart. Calm down.
Tell me to calm down.
This is Kung Fu. You're not training for the Olympics. You're training for the street.
Game is on, cards are dealt, my darling dream.
Tactical.
Mr. Wick, do enjoy your party.
How many yards away is the vault?
20 yards. I don't know, maybe 30.
Is it 20 or is it 30? We are dealing with science here.
There was an explosion, and your legs, they're gone, bro.
We gotta call 911. Hello? We've been in an accident. back to the car.
Should we wait for backup?
This isn't the land of backup, Jane. This is a land of you're on your own.
Oh my God.
Remember when we used to play in the woods together? I got lost that one summer. When I turned around, you were gone.
Number 1. Brawl in Cell Block 99. For me, this film has officially dethroned my second favorite movie of all time. Congratulations, Brawl. You have just taken Fight Club's seat. Winter's Bone is still my number 1 favorite movie of all time.
The law came bad today. Dad signed over everything to his bond. Victoria, I really gotta run Dad down to get him to show.
You ought not do that. I'll go running after Jessup.
But saying that this Vince Vaughn flick fucking ruled would be a complete understatement. Now, there was only one flaw about this movie, and it's what happened in the very beginning. It shows Vince Vaughn destroying a car, and he rips off the hood of a car with his bare hands. That's bullshit. We know that those things are bolted down. But aside from that, this film delivered in all areas. The acting was phenomenal. The plot was full of tension. Never have I seen a prison movie with such detail and taking you through the step-by-step process of incarceration. It was very real, and it made you feel like you were right there with Vince Vaughn's character. The movie made you want to side with the main character. This film was dark, gritty, and extremely violent, and it very well could be plausible in the real world. Plus, everything was beyond realistic. It was brutally barbaric. What is not to love about this movie? Definitely go check this one out if you have not yet already.